savings and investment. And just to simplify this presentation, I just listed down the product features as such. Since it's a single pay savings and investment plan, there are no more, wala nang 5 pay, 10 pay. There are no limited pay plans to worry about. Instead, for Money Tree, what we need to be aware of is its payment bands. Ibig sabihin, there are levels to Money Tree. Later on, we'll see why this is important. So the first is band 1. So Money Tree, it's single pay, begins with 125,000 unless otherwise specified by the company, because sometimes there are promos by the company. No, I remember back in 2013, this was offered na at 50,000 lang, just to open up investments to other dun sa gusto mag-invest in a single pay product pero natataasan sa minimum. So our minimum for Money Tree single pay is 125,000, and band 1 starts with that 125,000. Maximum is 499,999. Band 2 starts at 500,000 and is up to 999,999, and band 3 starts at 1 million pesos and is reaches up to capacity to pay. Today we're just going to focus on Money Tree peso. For Money Tree dollar, there are no bands for Money Tree dollar, but yung minimum niya is $10,000 to start Money Tree dollar. Yan. And since it is a single pay investment, it's very straightforward. It's invested straight through to our Philm Life Asset Management Income Funds, PAMI funds, na of course BIMI na ngayon. So it has 4 peso denominated funds. The Philm Bond Fund for our bonds and the medyo yung conservative. Philm Fund, our balanced fund, and our 2 equity funds, Strategic Growth Fund and the Equity Index Fund. For the dollar, hindi ko na-include dito, there's a Global Bond Fund and a Dollar Bond Fund. I'm sure si Rene will share about that this morning. Yeah. Furthermore, there's still life insurance for Money Tree, and the life insurance coverage is the equivalent to, dito lang po magbabago yung minimum guaranteed death benefit. It's no longer 500% or 5 times the basic premium. For Money Tree, the minimum guaranteed death benefit is 125% of basic premium plus 125% of each top-up minus 125% of each withdrawal. Or it could be the account value, whichever is higher. So ito po, dalawa lang yung pinagpipilian. So it's either the minimum guaranteed death benefit or the account value if that is the higher option. Of course, it allows for top-ups, pero wala na yung regular top-up and special top-up because it is one a single pay. And yan, it has ad hoc or lump sum top-up. And baka hindi alam ng iba, Money Tree actually has a loyalty bonus. Ano lang siya, conditional, may be given on the 10th year and every 5 years thereafter. It's projected to be 2% of the average account value over the preceding 60 months. So this was first, alam ko, this was first experienced in 2019 by our clients nung una nag-pay out ng loyalty bonus. Before, when the primer was done, kaya siya naka-projected to be 2% of the average monthly account value because hindi pa alam, wala pang basis yung loyalty bonus, ay wala pang 10 years yung Money Tree dati. So ayan, but there was a loyalty bonus release naman at that time, and so the next one is 5 years from that time. So yan, of course, ang loyalty bonus for Money Tree is that basta yan, it's basta it's still there, hindi naman finally withdraw. And again, may caveat for this one. It is not guaranteed and will depend on the company performance. Kaya hindi guaranteed yung 2%. Next, it allows for fund switching and full and partial withdrawal. So, of course, change in fund allocation for future top-ups kung magkaroon man. And siguro ang hindi alam ng iba, Money3 actually allows for attachable riders. There's the accident and health rider, the term insurance rider. Yung if, I'll show first that yung T. There's the accident and health rider and then the term insurance rider, and then Money3 can actually be attached with a critical illness rider. Ano lang yung kailangan nating isipin for this one? So, hindi ko na-mention kanina, Money3 is a guaranteed insurability offer type of insurance. Ibig sabihin, wala nang kailangan medex, wala na rin questions about, wala nang medical questions, except for if the client opts for critical illness rider, or kung maglalagay siya ng term insurance rider na mas malaki kesa doon sa kanyang coverage. For example, since ang coverage ng Money3 is 125% of the policy, of the premium. So 1 million policy is effectively 1,250,000 in face amount. If the term insurance is equivalent also to 1.2 million, pwede pa siyang under GIO. That's the maximum coverage and the minimum coverage as well. Pag pinataas pa yon ni client, of course, it will already be under underwriting. I-review na yan ng underwriters. The critical illness rider is also available for Money3. The issue age is 18 to 65. So this is the old critical illness rider ng Health Invest. It covers 56 illnesses and is valid until the age of 75. Of course, pag nilagyan na ng critical illness rider, hindi na po yan GIO. So baka kailangan mag-medex ni client. Ayan. Again, it covers 56 illnesses, and hindi po siya bago na feature, Sir Richard. It's been around since 2014. So, noong 2014 po, kasabay po ng release ng Health Invest, inallow nang magkaroon ng critical illness rider ang Money3. But, yun nga, if attached to the critical illness rider, hindi na po siya GIO. Kaya siguro, if you notice when you open your IPOS and you choose Money3, there's actually a choice between regular and GIO for Money3. So if you choose regular, pwede po kayong maglagay ng critical illness rider. But of course, that will be subject to underwriting. Hindi naman siguro. Ayan, so of course in the old ways, again, this has been around since 2014. Yung Money3 Elite na variant, it goes for regular app form, except for if you are not going to attach a critical illness rider or not exceed the term insurance by the term insurance rider as well. The sales illustration will be presented. The issue age for Money3 is 0 to 75. So of course, pag under 18, kailangan may ibang owner, but it can be for 0 to 75. And caveat already also, beginning age 71, kailangan po ang client will invest 1 million pesos minimum. 1 million pesos minimum. This issue age is available only for Money3 peso. for dollar, it remains at 70 pa din yung last na issue age. Yan. So 0 to 75 for money 3 peso. And yon again, from age 71 until age 75, the minimum single pay premium must be 1 million pesos. Premium charges. Ayan, kaya ako sinabi kanina na importante po yung bands for in the case of Money 3. For band 1, so that's 125,000 to 499,999. The premium charge from the single pay premium is 4%. Effectively, basically 96% yung na-invest. For band 2, which is 500,000 and up, the premium charge is 2%, with effectively 98% yung invested. Now for band 3, which we call Money 3 Elite, yung 1 million and up, wala po siyang charge. And the good thing about this one is yung top ups po kasi they will follow kung ano yung premium charges. So effectively for Money 3 Elite, which I'm sure si Rene will talk about and si Brother Rohel, lahat po ng top ups wala na po yung charges. So that's very beneficial for the client. It makes Money 3 now a viable investment instrument. Yan. Okay? And the surrender charges. So as a single pay investment, Money 3 also has the lowest investment charges or withdrawal charges. So pababa lang po siya. For the first year, that's 5%. Second year, 4%. And until to the fifth year, that's 3%, 2%, and 1%. On the sixth year, wala nang surrender charge si Money 3. Something lang din to note, top ups for Money 3 are not subject to yung no premium withdrawal charges. When you top up for Money 3, nagkakaroon din po siya ng 5%, 4%, 3%, 2%, and 1% na surrender charge on the top up. So every top up nare-reset po yung year. For example, if yearly nagta-top up, yung second year na top up 5%, 5% pa din yon, effectively na 1%. So basically parang ang top up is getting a new Money 3. Parang ganon yung sistema. But again, it has the lowest surrender charges. And ayun, and then of course, wait. Ang di ko lang na-include is yung commission table. The commission actually, yan. For band 1 and for band 1, it's 2% of the initial single premium. For band 2, it's 2.5%. And for band 3, it's also 2.5%. And ayun, for band 2 and band 3, again, please note, it's 2.5%. That applies also to the top ups. Yan, to the top ups. 2.5% kasi usually 'di ba ang commission rate natin for top ups is 2%. But in Money 3, it will follow the 2.5% na commission rate. Yan. Actually, that's basically it. Unless you have questions for Money 3. It's a very straightforward presentation. Meron po bang questions? I'm guessing that mas ma-explain better ng ating mga clients and ng ating mga sharers for this morning. I just have sorry, napatigil ako kanina kasi there's a question message to me sa Messenger. Tinatanong lang kung bago ba yung rule na 1 million dapat for 75. Ayan. And thank you for that question. Napa-open tuloy ako ng aking primer. Correction po pala, sorry. The issue age is hanggang 80. Yung age 75 hanggang 80 years old po yung 1 million ang minimum. 1 million minimum. Kasi ayan, thank you for giving that question. Nakakuha pa raw daw yung isang client niya at just 125,000 at age 75. So yung age 75 to 80 is a new concession. I believe it was launched in 2016 or 17. So pwede hanggang 80. Yun po. Actually, that's it. If there are other questions, pwede nang itanong dito. Meron pa po ba? Great product, yes. Go for the lolo and lolas, but I would have to advise you na if you are going to ask the lolos and the lolas to invest, try to do borrowed life. Ibig sabihin, you insure the apos or the children of the lolos and lolas because kahit papano ang money tree kasi since it has an insurance portion, syempre meron pa rin po yung cost of insurance. So the higher the age, the higher the cost of insurance. And I have clients I have a client that has a 2 million money tree. Parang ang kanya, he's 70 now. So on average, ang kanyang yearly na cost of insurance for basically that's just 500,000 pesos. It's around 60,000 na. So kaya I advise na pag medyo may edad na din, pag yung kumbaga yung dulong age na po ng ating money tree, i-borrowed life yun na po. My question is, the money invested in the money tree not taxable in estate tax like other insurances? It's always been said by the trainers that it's tax shielded. Ibig sabihin kasi hindi natin i-report na kumbaga it's the responsibility of the beneficiary. It's the responsibility of the beneficiary to report na may nakuha silang benefit from money tree. Sorry. Yun. So hindi naman siya non-taxable, pero kumbaga hindi naman natin kasi de-declare na may benefit yung yung client. It's the beneficiary. The beneficiary has to be the one to report to the BIR that they actually received a benefit, tapos saka siya itatax. Yun. So kung ang question lang is pag ni-release ba sa kanila buo yung pera, yes, it's buo naman yung benefit, hindi lang yung it's their responsibility na Israel to declare yung kanilang benefit. DJ, if malaki ang fund at hindi nila i-withdraw talaga, technically the money will earn 25%, diba? Because of the insurance. GIO pa rin ito, diba? If malaki ang fund.
Yeah, bro, example, let's say I have 10 million and then hindi ko siya i-withdrawin. Gusto ko siyang i-distribute lang to my heir. If I put it in money tree, even malaki yung cost of insurance ko, and then I die, I'm the investor. Technically, it will be 12.5 million, even malaki yung cost of insurance. Tama, di ba? Yun ang positioning niya.
Yes.
For the lolos and lolas.
Kung if you're positioning this to VIP lolos and lolas, yung sinasabi ni DJ, maganda siya. Para yung mga late na late na nagma-money tree, pag late na nag-money tree, pwede itong ibigay sa kanila kasi wala naman ng MEDEX to. So, sa mga naghahabol na lang ng 25% pa rin na increase in their investment, if they're going to use it for ganyan, estate taxes or estate planning, and hindi talaga sila umabot sa family provider, for example. In case of death, tama if namatay after 2 years. Yes, 2 years po. Yun pala, may contestability period po ang money tree. So, if they passed on during the contestability period, pwedeng ang ibigay lang kay client is the account value.
So doon siya pwedeng malugi. Doon lang siya pwedeng malugi, no?
Doon siya
Parang
pwedeng quote-unquote malugi kung mamamatay siya within 2 years. Kasi syempre, ano din to, ano yung tawag dun sa estate planning, yung expecting mo nang may sakit kang mamatay. Kaya account value lang during contestability.
Excuse me, Red.
Yes, Ms. Eva.
I remember I have a client na kumuha siya niyan. May sakit siya but hindi naman namin alam na mamamatay siya within 2 years, no? So of course, parang naging ganun, namatay siya. Meron siyang yung nasa contestability period is not really that big, mga 400. Pero meron siyang nauna ng mga lampas ng 5 years. Yung sa 400, hindi na lang namin winidraw. I was waiting for it to grow bigger. Kasi pwedeng i-withdraw later on. I don't know how it is now. Parang hinintay ko na yung account value niya tumaas kasi at that time, mababa siya than the total investment. Yun.
May I inject, no? Idea.
Yan, si Bro Rohel.
Yung pag-delay ng pag-withdraw is not actually a withdrawal per se because the policy owner is already dead. So kahit i-delay mo yan, that is still death claim. Death claim pa rin siya. So pag pinag-usapan yung taxability, whether within the contestability period na nangyari ang pagkamatay ng kliyente, that is going to be an insurance proceeds, not an investment proceeds. Then, ang mangyayari dyan, yung taxes is hindi na natin siya. Kasi ang ruling ng ating IC, yung pinaka-recent, is that for as long as you did not change the beneficiary from the onset of the policy, it is now deemed as irrevocable. Remember, ang taxability is if it is revocable or irrevocable. If that's revocable, that means na may tax. Okay?
Yeah.
So, pagka irrevocable, walang tax. Since may ruling ang central bank, ang IC, na pagka hindi mo binago, okay? Hindi mo binago ang beneficiary from the start of the policy. Maski 2 minutes pa lang yan, wala ka man binabago eh. Di ba? So that becomes non-taxable. Okay? So yun ang kanyo. Ang pinag-usapan na tinatax dyan is not the beneficiary. We're talking about estate tax. So yung namatay ang tinatax. So as to yung sinasabi ni Bro Red na later on, it's up to the claimants or the beneficiaries kung paano nila ititreat yan. Obvious naman, walang tayong kinalaman doon kung anong gagawin nila. Ang pinag-uusapan is the subject, which is the policy owner or the insured. In this case, siya yung namatay. Siya ang subject ng if there is taxability or none.
Okay. Red, my comment is only for those who experience na namatay within the contestability. Tapos bagsak yung account value. Sa takot ko doon sa asawa, parang sinabi ko na medyo takot ako kasi masungit yung husband nun. Tapos sabi ko, sige, let's get this later. Tinan muna natin kung tataas siya tumaas naman ng konti, but we eventually took it out.
Okay.
I just use that as an option.
Ms. Eva, clarification ko lang din. When you took it out na hindi naman tinanong kung bakit ngayon doon lang at that point lang kinuha yung policy ay yung benefit.
Hindi tinanong. Oo.
Okay.
Tapos kung ano yung account value nung time na winidraw namin, sinabit namin, yun yung nakuha namin. Oo.
Okay.
Pero I don't know nga ngayon baka they will be stricter now kasi dati sinasabi na nila sa amin, hindi kung ano yung value nung namatay yun ang ibibigay sa'yo. Hindi, totoo yun yung sinabi ng underwriting, no? Was that underwriting? Basta somebody sa loob. Sabi, hindi po on the time of death. Siguro ideally ganun. But they wouldn't know the value anymore at that time. Kasi umandar, maybe they would, pero umandar na eh. So kung ano lang talaga to make it simple, when you submit the papers and it's processed, that's the account value that you will get.
Pwede din yan, Sis Eva, no? In reality, kung i-assess mo, sino ba ang magsasabing nalulugi siya? Beneficiary ka nga, anong lugi mo? Wala ka naman pinuhunan dyan.
Correct,
So whatever the value is always super gain mo yan. Now,
kasi
ang
below
mag-assess
siya
lang,
below siya ng investment.
klaruhin ko lang, no? Kung nag-invest ng 1 million yung insured at may nangyari sa kanya, tapos the time na nangyari yon before the mag-last pa
2
yung
years.
contestability, ang value is 900,000. Who's gonna say na lugi yung beneficiary? Wala naman siyang pinuhunan dyan.
Hindi, pero
Diba?
kasi yung tatay, yung asawa, nakikita niya yun from that point of view kasi pera niya yun eh. Tapos meron siyang nilagay sa iba na kumita, mga ganyan. Pero tama, correct ka doon. Kung ako yung beneficiary, masaya na ako. Pero hinintay ko lang siya na lumaki na para ma-approximate yung nilagay na amount.
Also, i-clarify din natin guys na yung contestability, it doesn't mean naman na namatay within the contestability period yung account value yung ibibigay. Kasi if the death happens ng healthy naman, di ba, i-check din yun eh. So kunyari talagang wala naman talagang sakit, ang pwede pa rin mabigay would be the, di ba, the insurance. Tama ba, Red? Kasi para din, may mga bago tayo ngayon, pinag-usapan natin yung contestable period. So para at least ma-clarify din yung meaning ng contestability.
Yes. So kung namatay naman sila, sorry, not because of sickness, if it's not because of sickness, pwede namang hindi na siya i-consider na contestable. Yan, for accident, of course, accident, syempre, hindi na yan contestable kasi aksidente eh. So hindi naman ine-expect, for example, nung kliyente na mamatay siya. So, ayan.
Bro, yung issue about contestability kasi, it is just the prerogative of the insurer to contest, but that doesn't mean an outright denial.
Yes.
That is to protect everybody else. Kasi kung mayroon man nanloloko lang talaga, ang tatamaan ang insuring public. That's the reason why there is that clause of contestability. But that doesn't mean pag nasa within contestable period, ay di-deny ka na kaagad. I-scrutinize lang. Ang no questions asked is beyond 2 years. Pero that is just fair for everybody na kailangan tingnan muna kung may nanloloko ba o wala. And that is not to protect the company but to protect all the insurers.
Yun. Thank you for the support, bro. Yeah. Actually, I just know the technicalities of the product, but our speakers for this morning, yan po talaga yung alam yung pasikot-sikot dun sa produkto plus kung paano siya i-position, which I think is the better part of the program this morning, especially positioning at this time na the pandemya. Yun. With that, are there any other questions? And if wala na, thank you. So I now return the floor to DJ.
Thank you, palampakan natin si Red. Palampakan natin. Ang galing ng product review. So yes, it's a simple product, pero maganda talaga na alam pa rin natin yung technicalities kasi sometimes even if it's so simple, we don't look at some of the other details, no? Like ako, may mga hindi pa ako alam doon, no? So may natutunan din akong bago ngayon, like the critical illness rider, I didn't know. So kaya pala nasagot din sa akin, kaya pala merong regular ULP na monetary, yung pala yon, di ba, para hindi siya GIO option, ganoon. And then yung 54321 nga, because I know before it's just monetary elite, dati mas mataas yung regular monetary na charges, so ngayon pinareha na pala nila, di ba? So those things, yung mga surrender charges, I think surrender charges is the most important detail because doon na yung withdrawhan eh. Di ba? Magkano yung i-deduct in case mag-withdraw ako. So those things, Red, ang ganda that you are really discussing it all to us because all these details are very important. So thank you. I hope you learned a lot from Red sharing. Now let me call on one of our unit managers, magaling sa investment, a former banker, and a lot of his clients comes from the investment side. Paano niya pinoposition yung monetary in the past? And also today, he will also discuss why is this the best time to offer monetary and get monetary for our clients. So let's all welcome Brother Rohel Morales.
Hello. Good morning, happy people. How are you today? Are you surviving or winning? Yan ang masarap pag-usapan. Kailangan hindi lang para tayo nakaka-survive because this is pandemic. Kailangan nananalo tayo. Diba? Paki-thumbs up naman dyan if you are winning. Itong ating sharing ngayon, mga kaibigan, is actually para po sa lahat ng mga advisors na matagal na sa industry. At kasama din dito yung mas matagal na sa industry. At lalong-lalo yung pinakamatagal na sa industry. So sa makatuwid para sa ating lahat. Okay? So the first part of my sharing, I don't even have a slide for the economic progress or data. Kasi nga baka nagsasawa na kayo sa mga nakikita yung ganyan. Ang sa akin naman is really just the basic concept of what is happening in the economy. Ang mag-guide sa atin if this is the right time to invest or not. Okay? Ang pinakamagandang indicator that this is very recent na inilabas ng ating gobyerno is the GDP. Okay, yung gross domestic product natin registered 11% for second quarter, which is the highest for the longest time. Napakagandang pakinggan na the highest, pero the thing is it came from a negative 17. Okay? Ngayon, kung titingnan natin, kung i-base natin sa calculation, kung dating may 100 pesos ka, bumaba, nabawasan ng 17, which is negative 17. So 83 na lang natira sa'yo. Correct? Ngayon, from that 83, nag-grow ka ng, say, 10%, nadagdag ka lang ng 8.3, plus another one, which is kung 11% siya. So, barely about 9 points ang nadagdag doon sa nawala mong 17. So, we are not yet above, sa ating, nasa liig pa rin ang ating concerns. That is not saying na pangit. In fact, the fact that we can see some movement going up from negative 17 is now 11, okay? Although we are not yet on that situation, masasabi natin we are above the, in fact, kahit malang balikan natin yung 2019 level, which is not really that shiny, pero nagbibigay na ng pag-asa. You know, if you're asking, is this the right time to get in? The market to me is still discounted, okay? And in fact, the index, which is the fund that we have access for investment, I'm talking about our PAMI-based products, okay? Kasi yun lang naman ang entry natin na pinag-usapan natin is monetary, is always the PAMI-laced product, and lalo na yung equity side. Yung index natin, as we speak, is about 6,700. Malayo pa yan sa dati nating pinakamataas, which is 9,000. So, kadalasan sabi so, wala naman yan, hindi naman aabot ng ganyan. Well, I always have that confidence that the economy is going to go up sooner than later. Because ang basehan ko lagi, lahat naman tayo, even you and me, simple people are trying to grow every single day and we want to beat our best. We want to be doing better than last year. In our midst today, everybody would want to be MDRT and they're gonna move just to make it happen. Diba? Ganun naman ang mindset natin. It's about mindset of the business people. And mind you, wala namang negosyante nagsasabing negative 20 ako last year, gusto ko naman negative 30 ako ngayon. After 2 years, gusto ko negative 10 na lang. Walang ganun. Everybody wants to grow. That's the reason why I'm getting that confidence from that mindset. Ako mismo, ayaw kong mas mababa ang kita ko kumpara last year. Will that happen? It depends on how I do it. So now, if we speak to our clients, we have to inject some ideas that can give them the confidence na oo nga, pwede naman. Kasi hindi lahat nag-struggle. Maraming mga companies, at alam naman natin yan sa mga pinagdaanan natin, mga tawag dito, mga forums about the economy, maraming part ng ating industry or economy that are really doing good. In fact, they are doing better than 2019. Walang pandemic, walang pandemic sa kanila. It's all about gaining. So our investment people sa ating company are doing everything they can to tap that opportunity. And when we speak to our clients discussing about this opportunity to invest in our monetary, you are actually linking them to get access to these opportunities. Tayo magiging tulay, tayo magdadala ng magandang balita. But at the end of the day, we have to remember that our product is still an insurance product. Kaya nga ang ng discussion kanina, yung sinare sa atin ni Bro Red about the details and the technicalities of the product. Ang sa atin, in front of the client, simplihan natin. Pag ang kausap natin matanda, okay? Bagamat mataas ang cost of insurance, ang purpose lang dapat when we talk to them is about protection. But kung bata-bata pa at gusto talagang gaining ang gusto niya, okay din ang monetary. Pero ulitin ko lang. Pag ang kausap ko senior citizen, let's say for example, 60 years old, gusto magpapamana. So ang habol nun is really to maximize the potential of the money. It can come from the account value or from the protection side. Diba? That's why subject to contestability. What if things go wrong beyond 2 years? So naka-guaranteed 25% gain ka na kagad sa 1 million mo if you put 1 million. Now think about a person, because one day you came across with clients nang sasabihin sa iyo, ay, di naman ako matanggap sa insurance eh. Kaya gusto ko man sanang magpa-insure pero hindi ako tinatanggap sa insurance. Na-try ko na sa ibang company. So our GIO can actually answer that. Kasi guaranteed insurability offer ang sa atin eh. Obviously, kung may nangyari sa kanya within 2 years, hindi po pwedeng tawag dito. Hindi pwedeng makuha niya 125%. Okay? Pero account value, which sabi nga ni Sis Eva kanina, can be delayed. Kung negative pa, wag mo nang kukunin. Pero kung yung matanda na yan, talagang gusto natin i-maximize, ang purpose is magpamana. Assuming ikaw isang mayaman, kausap natin, may 100 million sa bank. Isipin natin medyo malalaki na para alam ko sasabihin niya, yung market ko naman hindi ganyan kalalaki. So isipin na lang natin, ang mindset is really, it's going to, tawag dito, attract eh. Law of attraction is thinking what you want to happen. Ako nasa isip ko lagi, may 100 million o 200 million akong kliyente ang kanyang net worth or pera sa bangko na natutulog lang. You give option. Okay? Pwede mong sabihin, para saan po ba itong 100 million? Pwede sabihin niya, hindi ko naman mauubos yan. Mayroon pa naman akong iba. Pampamana ko lang sa mga apo ko yan. So eventually, pwede kong i-divide sa kanila. So 100 million, 4 sila, so 25 million sila. Sarap maging apo nun, no? Kung ganyan. Now, what if, sabihin ko sa kliyente na yan, what if I can show you a program that can give your apos not 25 million, but over 50 million each of them, using your 100 million? Pwede mayari sa monetary yan. Kasi pag ang tao or ang insurer natin, ang ating client, has 100 million, inatas natin ang term insurance na another 100 million, ang effect is actually 100 million becomes 225 million. Let me share this sample para makita niyo yung sinasabi ko. Hello? Are you still with me? Baka kanina pa ako nagsasalita, wala pala akong
Yes,
kausap.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, bro.
Loud and clear.
Okay, wait lang ha.
Nawala ka sa screen kasi.
Okay. Nakikita yung screen ko ngayon?
Yes, yes.
Can you see the figures, the 125 million, the 100 million?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes po.
Okay, this is an example, a client, senior citizen, 100 million yung pera niya. Kung yan ay papamana niya sa 4 na apo, tigti 25 million yan pag nasa bangko na. Pero siyempre magdudusa muna sila para makuha yun. Meaning, ang daing dokumentong kukuhanin muna, extrajudicial settlement with all the claimants, and etc., and taxes. Meantime, naka-free siya doon. That's 100 million. Kung ililipat sa atin, ang purpose ay magpapamana siya. I-attach natin ang term insurance na 100 million, walang questions asked din yan. If the client is about 60 years old, guaranteed insurability offer included the 100 million. Imagine mo yan, naging 225 million ang effect ng pera niya. So ang ipapamana na sa kanya mga apo is 62.5 million each, not 25 million, if in case something happens. So you actually more than double the asset of the client. Not the money, but the asset of the client. So just to give you an example, you can fit the size of the fund depending on kung sinong kausap mo. Huwag niyong ipipilit 100 million kung ang kausap mo naman ng pera is 500 million. Di ba? Baka sabihin na 100 million lang ba yan? Or in the case of other people na mas mababa sa 100 million, itama natin doon. I have a client na naglagay ng 7.5 million sa money tree. Tapos, inatas ko ng another 7.5. So 15 na yan, may 25% pang coverage. Hindi naman siya nawala sa mundo within 2 years. After about 4.5 years, saka siya nawala. Pero malinaw na ang purpose namin yan is to augment the protection. Kaya nga inatas namin ang term insurance. Yun ang naging effect niyan. So, sa salita, natanggap ng kliyente, and nung beneficiary, yung wife, is more than 16 million. Kung ikaw nakatanggap ng ganyan, siguro naman magiging masaya. Rather than plain investment, 7.5 million, what are the chances na magdo-double during the time na ang ating market is not so good? Yan, more than double yung kanya. Diba? So tuwang-tuwa yung kliyente na nabigyan patuloy ako ng magandang damit. Binilhan pa ako ng kliyente sa tuwa niya. Hindi naman ibig sabihin kailangan lang gawin yan. Pero siyempre, natutuwa yung kliyente sa nangyaring ganon. Not because namatay yung kanyang asawa, but because tama yung naging advice natin. So hindi natin pwedeng aatrasan yan pag ganyan. Diba? So maraming kapamaraanan na pwede natin ma-insure yung kliyente. In fact, kung sasabihin na, ay wala naman akong 100 million, saan naman ako kukuha niyan? Meron man ako, pero ayoko sanang galawin yung 100 million ko. Gusto ko maghulugan lang. Paano natin gagawin sa kliyente yan? Ang gustong gawin hindi one time. Diba? Kasi pakita ko sa inyo kung ito yung account value ng kliyente, diba? Pagka ang one time ginawa niya 100 million, tingnan mo account value, sobrang taas din. Ang protection side sa dulo, kung nakikita mo, sobrang taas din. So panalong-panalo siya dito. This is going to be the cheapest insurance na makukuha ng isang kliyente ng halos din na ma-insure sa iba. Bakit sinabi kong cheapest? I'll show you a regular plan. For example, the same client, magpapa-insure ng 225 million. 5 years to pay. Ito, nasa standard pa yan. Ha? Hindi ko pa nilalagay na halos hindi siya insurable. The fact na hindi siya matanggap sa insurance company, malamang-lamang, ang kanyang premium dapat mas mataas or at least the cost of insurance. Look at that, 32 million annually. Times 5 mo yan kung 5 years to pay, that is over 160 million ilalabas niya. Samantalang, sa money 300 million lang ilalabas niya. Di ba? Ganun lang kasimple ang kaisipan. Kung maghuhulugan kayo na malabong mangyari kasi hindi ka mapapa-approve, assuming na approve ka, ang premium is 32 million every year. For the next 5 years, that's 160 million. Ngayon, one-time pay ka, 100 million lang. Does that make sense? Hello?
Ang ganda nito.
Now, it can be a nice conversation, no? Na ganyan, ay maganda, medyo mura. Pero Rohel, gusto ko pa rin maghulugan. Anong gagawin ko? Ano sa tingin niya pwede natin gawin kung ayaw pa rin niya maghulugan? Ay, gusto pa rin niya maghulugan samantalang medyo mataas. So ang ginagawa ko, I had this conversation with a client. Sabi ko, marami ka naman pera sa bangko. Kung gusto mo, we can add value to you by helping you come up with a loan sa bank. This may be very advanced sa ibang mga advisors. Pero sa mga mas matagal na sa industry, this is doable. But even if you are new in the industry, I bet you can do it. Okay? You just have to ask the proper people. You can even ask me kung paano gagawin. Pag ang isang kliyente, mayaman, may pera sa bangko, at maganda ang credibility sa bangko, they can borrow against their deposit. Kung yung kliyente may 100 million doon, or even more, manghingi siya ng utang na about 100 million, papayagan ng bangko. Mas mataas lang interest, maybe 8%. Okay? Pero, naka-hold out deposit siya as a cover for the loan, mag-lend sa kanya ng 100 million, nakakapag-create na siya ng additional 100 million while yung pera niya for the next 5 years nakatag lang doon sa bangko. What will happen now is doon na siya maghulugan sa bangko. Okay? And how to do it is like this one. I'll show you how to do it. Kung sila mangungutang sa bangko, let's say for example 100 million. Rate for example 8% for the next 5 years. Remember, if you recall yung pinakita ko sa inyo, kung maghuhulugan siya sa insurance company for the next 5 years, 32 million, assuming in-approve siya, 32 million a year. Sa bangko, hindi makakahindi sa kanyang bangko kasi kikita na sa kanyang bangko, nakatali pa yung 100 million ng pera doon. Uutang lang siya ng same amount. Okay, 100 million. So look at the amortization. Every year, ang babayaran niya is 24,331,000. Pwede siyang mag-monthly kung gusto niya. Not 32 million. So this is still the cheapest that a client can get. Nakuha niya 100 million, ililipat niya sa atin, magiging 225 million yon because of the term insurance ilalagay natin. Remember, the mindset is to protect. Okay? Okay, to have insurance kasi hindi na insurable. Pero, if you look at the values at any given time, kahit 3 years down the road, nangailangan siya ng liquidity, he can get a lot of money from that policy. If you look at the regular plan, nasa paying period ka pa lang 3rd year, magkano kaya makukuha mo doon sa plan na yan? Ang liit lang. Samantalang dito sa ipinakita sa inyo example, the account value is really high at any given point of time. Pwede siya mag-withdraw. Very liquid. Very cheap na sa kanya yung insurance, high liquidity, okay? And you add value both to your client and even to the bank kung saan siya nagbabangko. Okay? So that's one way of making things happen and creating value for your clients. Walang underwriting requirement na po yan, except that capacity to pay, i-prove mo yan. Kasi nga kailangan may pakita ng kliyente na talagang he is worth that 100 million he is giving to our company. Di ba? So meron ng financial underwriting yung kailangan daanan. Kasi pwedeng gamitin sa laundering naman itong product na ito kung hindi natin titingnan na maayos. That's the reason why mayroon tayong mga process na susundan. Ayun, talking of clients na legit talaga, may pera, but ang dami-daming pera, pwede pa natin madagdagan yun. At ang nakakatuwa dito, yung mga nakikinig na kliyente, kung sino pa yung mayayaman na, lalong yung mayaman. Nakikinig sa atin eh. Di ba? But ang challenge is, will you have the courage to talk to these people? The moment kasi nadinig ng kliyente na nakakadagdag ka ng value, maniwala ka sa akin, pakikinggan ka, uupuan ka niyan. Pero pag nakikita parang, every time we are faced with a client, ang pakiramdam nila talagang makukuha naman sila ng pera eh. Di ba? Palabas sa kanyang pera. Pero pag nakikita nila na may value ka sa kanila, you become an asset to them, they will talk to you. I've done that many times and excited akong gawin over and over again ang ganong proseso. Think about some clients. Yung mga hindi mo kinakausap kasi nahiya ka, huwag kang mahiyang tumulong sa kapwa. Tinutulungan mo sila. Okay? So yun ang monetary can be just a plain investment, but in this case, we want to focus more on protection side. Why? Mas maganda pag ang focus protection dito sa monetary, lalo pag may mga edad na. You are not looking at account value anymore. You don't care about the economy anymore. Why? Ang purpose is nakalock ka na doon sa 125 and 225% protection. The cheapest insurance they can get. Okay? If you shift to just focus on gain, I'd rather that you talk to younger people na mag-monetary para ang pag-uusapan, what's in it for me, for the client. So, doon naman kasi ang cost of insurance mas mababa, chances are tataas talaga ang value niya. Lalo pa kung papasok siya sa panahong katulad nito. Okay? So, any questions? Malinaw po ba? Mayroong nadagdag kaalaman o nagulo lang lalo ang utak natin? May mga tanong po ba? Yes, premium financing, Zach, is usong-uso dun sa amin sa Amerika yan. Pero sa atin, pabaliktad kasi. So we need to be creative. I already had an opportunity to speak to a banker. Kinausap ko na sila. Yung sinishare ko sa inyo, hindi ibig sabihin kwento lang, yung ginagawa ko yan. Kinausap ko na kung papayag ba kayo na ang kliyente is uutang sa inyo against their deposit. Sabi, oo naman ginagawa namin. So gaano kataas ang interest? Medyo mataas, mga nasa 8%. Ba't naman ganun kataas? Sabi ko, kung ako may ganyan deposit, lilipat ako ng bangko, ayaw ko na sa iyo, napakataas naman. Hindi, napag-uusapan naman yun. So I try to create a conversation with a banker. I'm talking to the branch head of the bank. So hindi ka po pwede makipag-usap lang sa hindi nagde-decide, ika nga. Hindi natin sila minamaliit, pero you're barking at the wrong tree, tatagal lang ang usapan nyo. So lahat ng pang-iipit, iniipit ko sila doon sa usapan. So sabi, may 200 million ako sa bangko nyo. Uutang na ako ng 100 million, tapos charge mo ko na napakalaki. Lilipat ko na. So yun ang nagiging conversation namin. Hindi, napag-uusapan naman yan. Sabi ko, remember, I am doing this to create business for you. May deposit na nga ako sa inyo, hindi ko gagalawin ng pera. Nasa inyo, magagamit nyo. Umutang pa ako sa inyo, so may dagdag pa akong babayaran interest sa inyo. So double ang naging effect sa inyo sa business sa akin. So huwag yung taasan masyado interest. So that's how I converse with my clients. Why? With the bank. Why? Because I am a former banker. I am sharing it with you because you don't have to be a former banker or a banker to say the same things. Di ba? Kung wala kang confidence, then ask people who has the confidence to talk to these people, including me. Kung talaga na mayroon tayong kakausapin, let me know. Puntahan natin. Di ba? We're in this together. Di ba? Bagong pag-asa. Di ba? We are in our new direction with DJ at the helm. We have a new company name. So bagong pag-asa. Bagong buhay para sa atin lahat. Thank you. So if you have some questions, kung wala na, ibaon nyo lang sa pagtulog nyo yung questions. Thank you. Hello.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Sir Romel. Thank you. Na-overwhelm kami sa 100 million eh.
Nag-iisip pa kami
Huwag
ng
natin
100
lilitan.
million.
Kasi, di pa nga malaki yung 100 million eh. Ang sa akin, masanay tayo
Sarap dun.
na pag-uusapan yung malaking figures. Na-attract daw yun eh. Di ba? Na-attract talaga yan kasi nangyayari din naman sa akin yan. Di ba? Kung inumpisan ko lang, kasi wag tayo matatakot sa figures. Di naman natin pera yun. Ba't ka natatakot sa pera na yung ganong kalaking halaga? I know why. Ang pinakabiro ko, sabi ko, the reason why you are not getting that big amount of money, pinag-uusapan pa lang, natatakot ka na eh. Love ka ni Lord. Hindi talaga ibibigay sa'yo yun. Magpapalpitate ka na pag-uusapan pa lang. Paano mapupunta sa kamay mo yan? Di ba? So wag tayo matakot dyan sa pera na yan. Di ba? Yan ang hinahangad natin, ang makatulong sa kapwa at matulungan ang sarili natin at pamilya natin. So to me, that's how I think. Hindi ako pwede matakot, hindi ako pwede magulat sa amount na yan kahit kailan. Okay?
Ang ganda nito, Roel, lalo na nung sinabi mo nga na nangyari na sa'yo to, yung 7.5 million plus 7.5 million na term, di ba? Kaya na more than double yung pera eh. Investment alone, it's not that easy, especially when the client runs out of time. Sabi mo nga, 4 years, mahigit lang yun. It's very few if there is na investment that can really give you more than double your initial money. No? So, that's a great idea na ginawa.
Sabi ko nga sa'yo, binigyan pa ako ng lakos, bro, sa tuwa nung
diba?
beneficiary.
Yun nga. No? So,
hindi naman
kasi
kailangan
tama yung
gawin
ginawa
yun.
mo eh. Tama yung advice na binigay mo. So, happy yung client sa'yo. May tanong si Zach, bro.
Tanong, question, term is when you apply it on the first year, given that it's applied already for each year thereafter? Yes. Actually, ang kagandahan dyan, Zach, no, for the information of everyone, naglagay ka ng 100 million, nag-attach ka na ng 100 million, ang total coverage is 225 million. At any given time, you withdraw from your investment. Let's say, tinanggal ko yung 50 million. Yung aking 100 million term insurance, intact yan, hindi na nababawasan yan. So para kang nag-policy loan lang nun. Para kang kumuha ng fund. Gusto mo ibalik mo ulit. In fact, laruin nyo yung IPOS nyo. Halimbawa, 100 million. On the 10th year, tanggalin na lahat, buong 100 million. Buhay pa rin yung policy. Try nyo. Kaya nga, kailangan i-challenge din ang sarili nyo na laruin natin ang IPOS natin, ang proposal system natin, para when we get the chance to speak to the clients, kahit pabalik-balik na rin, alam mo kung ano sasabihin sa kanila. Diba? You consider the term insurance, again, if the purpose of the client is to augment the protection. Remember, the premise that I was using is that the client is being declined by other insurance companies. Hindi na siya na-operahan na siguro sa puso, whatever it is, hindi siya makakuha ng insurance. Ikaw ngayon yung bulb, yung light bulb, magsasabi siya, what if I can help you be insured? Pwede ba yun? Magagawa mo ba yun? Yes, sir, I can help you. So, sa tingin mo, di ka kakausapin nun? Diba? That's exciting actually.
Ang ganda
Right?
ng premise mo rin, bro. Kasi like, siguro nasabi nga ni Zach, hindi niya naisip yung sa term insurance sa monetary. Ako rin siguro in the past, because when we are focusing solely in investment and growing the money, hindi natin maiisip yun eh. But when we position monetary now as, yun nga, to protect your assets, yung 100 million mo, pwede kong gawing 125. Or in this case nga, hindi ko nga naisip yung 225 eh. No? So ngayon ko lang din yan narinig, or recently lang, sinishare mo siya sa akin. So, oo nga, I was just thinking, plus 25%. Hindi, ang ginawa mo, double your money, more than that, di ba? So, this is really something, and people who has the money, who doesn't need their money to grow, but they need their money to be protected, and then get distributed, you are an asset to them, hindi ka expense. Di ba? So, ang ganda.
Can you imagine, bro, if you're talking, for example, to a Manny Pacquiao, he has maybe more than $1 billion. Okay? Pwede kang magdagdag value sa kanya na mamultiply mo pa yung assets niya. Hindi naman niya mauubos yun eh. Yung pangdulo niya, pamana, dito mo na ilagay. Diba?
Kesa maubos niya ka mo, no? Diba? Yun eh. May pera ka, kesa maubos mo, make sure yung pamana mo na, i-safe keep mo na dito, kami na bahala. Parang ganun yung positioning yan eh.
In fact, sabi ko nga, the fact that you can withdraw certain portion of the funds, pero intact na yung 100 million doon, na-enjoy pa niya yung pera while being able to create kung anong gusto mong ipamana. Pwede siya mag-withdraw. Diba? Pwede niya gamitin a portion of the fund. Majority of it.
Ang ganda nitong conversation na to. Kasi that's why I really like to talk about monetary. When I start to, like nung bago kami sa industry, no, nung narinig na namin itong mga gatong kwento, yung mga retirement, etc., doon na-open yung mind na, okay, hahanap ako. And that's why I congratulate all the 53 of you who are here. Like Othello will not be able to offer those 200 policies to the company without attending the training. Na-open niya, ay may ganun palang idea, gawin ko kaya. No, so kung ano man yung idea pumapasok sa isip nyo ngayon, eventually, dun mag-open up eh. Dun, makakakita kayo ng clients, sigurado. The more training like this that you're attending. So, thank you for that, bro, Rohel. Palakpakan natin si Rohel. Right? Palakpakan natin. Ayan. So, ito yung sagot ni Zach. 100 million pag 0 to 60, 50 million pag 61 to 75. Ayan. Ito kasi yung question niya na what's the maximum allowable amount for GIO monetary plus term insurance. So 50M plus 50M. Tama? 50M.
Plus 25%.
Yeah. Yeah, plus up to 100% eh. Galing. Malaki-laki yan. Yeah. So mukhang makaka-expect tayo ng malaking benta na naman from Zach. Ha? Ano to? 0 to 75 pare-pareho.
Yes, nireview ko at nagbukasin ako ng mga memo. So yung application ng 1 million from age 71 to 75 was prior to Money3 Elite. Nung Money3 pa lang siya. Pero nilabas yung Money3 Elite straight through pati yung yun, pwede na kahit yung minimum lang na 125 for that age. So, salamat po sa mga tanong. Ayan, na-update po ako. Ang available po kasing primer kahit sa e-learning portal ay 2014 pa po. So, nireview ko pa talaga.
Bro Red, so sa research mo, even 75 years old, pwede na mabigyan ng 100 million?
Ay, hindi po.
Hanggang 70 pa din?
Pwede pa rin naman magbigay ng 100 million pero magiging regular na po yung 100.
Hindi na siya GIO.
Hindi na siya GIO. Magiging regular up na siya.
Okay.
So,
ang pwede lang
GIO
i-attach nga pala.
0 to 60, 100 million. Sorry,
yung term
clarify lang
insurance
natin.
hanggang age 70 yung term insurance pwede natin i-attach.
Okay. Yung issue age ng term insurance, tama, hanggang age 70 lang.
Right?
So thank you
Okay,
po sa
sige,
mga
that's good.
clarifications at questions.
Actually, hats off pa rin sa'yo, Red, kasi yung mga menial details, baka ikaw lang talaga yung maka-pull up ng mga details na yan. So, I would like to say that thank you for keeping that in your file. No, good job, bro. Sige, so now let's go to our sharer, the third sharer for today. Bakit siya yung in-invite natin? He recently has a lot of money tree sales. In fact, earlier this year, he had a sale ng 7 million na money tree. Diba? Parang 3 policies na hinati-hati. After that, nag-top up to ng 2 more this year. No? So, and we would want to hear from him. Yan tinatanong nga kanina, saan nakukuha itong mga gatong kliyente? That's one. Number 2, paano mo siya pinoposisyon? So he recently just have an experience in positioning this product. So let's all welcome Brother Rene Alimbuyugen. Take it away, bro.
Maraming salamat, DJ. Firstly, I'd like to thank DJ who has given me this opportunity to share with you guys. I feel that whatever contribution I'll be sharing with you is really based also on my experience, what I got from the likes of Rohel and others financial advisors from Starbright. So guys, do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Maganda
Yeah,
naman.
thank you. So maraming salamat. I just like to make sure kasi minsan baka salita ako ng salita wala na pala, hindi pala naririnig. Anyway, just a short introduction para you may appreciate where I'm coming from. By education, I'm an engineer. So I studied engineering and graduated and passed the board exam and worked for Philips Semiconductors for 11 years. And after 11 years, in 1997, I joined Philam Life. So it's 24 years already in Philam Life. This is only my third job. So when I started, why I chose Philam Life? Firstly, because I wanted to have that time being given to people who are working in this field. So I chose Philam Life because I wanted to serve my family. I wanted to be active also with the community I'm involved with. I'm a member of Ligaya ng Panginoon. It's a community, a Christian community with a charismatic dimension. So that's the person I am. I'm a serious Christian. When I say I'm serious Christian, I try to see to it that what I speak, I do it also in my actions. So I've been part of the community, the related community, since 1983. So in a way, you can say that during that time up to now, medyo seryoso ang pagka-Kristiyano ko. Anyway, Philam Life really fitted the kind of work I would like, especially when I'm in the field of service. And when I joined Philam Life, what attracted me is helping people in investment. And what I did was to attend seminars like this, learn from people like Rohel, and attend orientation or economic briefings and all those things. But I was really serious in this field. This is what I wanted, helping people being able to invest. So eventually, I joined also the PAMI, where I was selling investment also. But I like Money Tree, firstly, because it has higher returns compared if I sell it into mutual funds. And so it was my, my vision to become an expert in this field. Right now, I would say I'm not that expert compared to others, but if I compare myself now to the person I was in 1997, who was trying to build his career in Film Life AIA and wanted to focus on investment, I would say I've improved a lot. I've become an expert. And so yun ang background ko po. And I'd like to show you now the graphs. Rohel, Argel, can you show the graphs? Okay. Okay. So there are 4 graphs here, colleagues. And this is graphs from, we have equity market that is in the lower left. Okay, sa lower left, yung may pula na 44.7, that is an equity market. And we have the dollars dun sa, on the other side naman, yung may 49.95. So that's the dollars. And yung film dollar bond, I think that is here on the lower right. Okay, so lower right. And yung film bond fund nasa upper left. Okay, my strategy, colleagues, is really one lang. Isa lang ang strategy ko, which I have practiced since I started. This is also what I tell my clients. Go in when the market is down and go out when the market is high. And that's the principle not only do I follow, but I also teach my clients. Maraming strategies, you will hear it from different people, different practitioners. Sa akin, simple lang. Go in when it's low and go out when it's high. So in the graphs you see here, you can be able to detect which part is the low part and the high part. Okay? So let's go to the first graph, that is the equity market. That's the lower left graph. Okay, in 2020, we saw that it went down by as close as 50%. So just imagine if you got in there, probably you will be earning now probably 25% and maybe up to 30%. So that's one. And if you go to the right side, sa Film Dollar Bond Fund, on the lower corner to the right, you will also see that in 2020, it dropped down. Okay, so bumagsak siya ng todo. And these are the opportunities we see. We'd like to go in. When it's low, go in, and when it's out, go high. In this crisis, in the peso bond fund that is on the topmost to the left, yung may green na shade, siya lang yung hindi bumagsak during the 2020 crisis. Except sa 2021, medyo bumagsak siya konti. Now, my point is that we really need to know when to get in the market. That's the secret. Madali yung principle, go in when it's low and go out when it's high. Very easy principle, but it's really difficult unless you know what market you're going into. So equity market actually I feel is the easiest because during crisis, you know it will go down. And it is in the boom times when there is no crisis that it will go up. Yun lang yung ano doon, principle. Mas challenging, I say, is that when you deal with bonds, either dollar or peso bond. You need to understand when it is going up and when it's going down. So mga kasama, that principle is very easy. Go in when it's low, go out when it's high. But you need to know, you have to understand the fund you are applying this principle. Yun, kailangan malaman natin yon. Kailangan matutunan natin yon. And for me, I had to learn this. I had to experience it, also trial and error. And eventually, because I needed to really understand what's happening, what is happening for every fund, I have to I had to take my master's in finance in UP Diliman. Now, I'm not saying that all of you do that. Probably, but the point lang, if you want to be an expert, you like to be confident, you have to study. You have to understand this. And hindi pwede yung parang one sitting reading. No, I've done this, I read this, I went through this and experienced this through the years. Even if I took my postgraduate in UP, it will not have been enough if I did not experience this firsthand, understanding this market. When will it go down? When will it go up? That's the secret. Once you get it, you will be very confident and you will be able to really sell much money tree. So that's actually just an introduction why I wanted to tell you na, to be able to do well in this. Number one, you need to be an expert also. You really need to study. Hindi pwedeng yung one sitting, one reading. No, you really have to study. Now, if you're a first timer, very good. If tayo mga bago, kapapasok lang, very good opportunity. Study. Talk to Rohel, talk to me. Go to Bloomberg, understand what they're saying. Ako, I started that way. Hindi ko naintindihan, I have to research. Why? Bakit sinasabi niya pag tumataas yung interest rate ng central bank, bumabagsak yung value ng funds? Bakit kaya? That I have to research and understand it. And eventually, I can say that comparing myself to when I started, I'm an expert. I can talk about these funds, know when to get in and when to go out. Okay, so in 2020, if you notice, this was really an opportunity for all of us. 2020, it was really a very good crisis. I will tell my clients, crisis is real. This is crisis, no other crisis have gone before us. Tayo dito. We have gone to 97 crisis. We have gone to a lot of rebellion crisis and so on. But this was the worst. And it meant it was an opportunity. So in 2020, hindi ako masyadong active kasi I was undergoing treatment. And for the whole year, ang ginagawa ko lang in 2020 was bumibili si Shopee, bumibili ng Apple Watch, bumibili ng kung ano-ano, tapos I indulge myself into mosaic art, mga ganon. So 2020, I didn't do anything. 2021 came. Nung nagkaroon na ako ng hilom, so sabi ko, I have to take advantage of this situation. So if you notice in 2020, bumagsak na yung equity market, that is the graph, the lower graph with the red shade. Bumagsak siya, but it was still below the usual the pre-pandemic market. So that's one. Tapos tinignan ko rin yung iba. The dollar was it was selling at 48. It was low. The dollar bond, medyo pababa na rin siya. So including the bond peso. So everything was down. So what I did was to come up with a newsletter. I talked to my unit leader, what's his name? Red. Red, can you help me come up with one newsletter describing the opportunity in this crisis? So we came up with one letter lang. I used his credential. As you know, Red is a UP graduate and a cum laude in journalism. So ginamit ko yung credentials niya. So of course, nilagay ko yun doon. So pangalan ko, my title, kung ano-ano, and including him. Parang ganon. So as I mentioned, I am part of a community. Sa community namin, marami na ako mga clients. May mga money tree, karamihan. Mga 10 million, 4 million, 2 million. So mga average, mga 5 million to. Pero itong client ko, he used to be the secretary of BCDA and DPWH. but he was a member of our community. You can say that his integrity is sound. He was also I would say, like me, we are very serious Christians. So seryoso siya. So when you talk about investments, he will like to know where you're placing, or else hindi niya ilalagay. Pag alam niya yung kumpanya na medyo yung morality ay hindi siya naglalagay doon. Anyway, so in 20, matagal ko nang gustong kliyente to. Mga years na rin. So siguro, I think I like to also highlight, especially for those who would like to eye VIPs, you cannot get them overnight. These are people you really first have to get to know and become medyo close, that they get to know you also. So personally, itong prospect ko, matagal ko nang gustong ligawan. So from time to time, nakikita kami sa prayer meeting. So I get to ask him questions. Ito nga pala, for the new one, you have to ask questions not answerable by yes or no. So lalo na yung mga gusto mong makipagkwentuhan, wag mo tanungin kung kumain na ba siya, parang ganun. Wag mo tanungin, retired ka na ba? Kasi ang sasagot lang sa'yo doon, yes or no. But this client of mine, I read an article of him in the newspaper. So when I went to him, so I mentioned, so right now you're in Meralco, you are the CEO of power generation. So how do you foresee the next 5 years or 6 years? And then magkukwento na siya eventually. So medyo I started that way, especially if you're eyeing VIPs, you're eyeing the high net. The best thing is really to build relationship with them. So eventually, I tried to again, try to make contact with. Alam nyo, iniiwasan na ako. So when after the prayer meeting, I would approach him, medyo iniiwasan na ako. And I knew, hindi pa ako nakaklik sa kanya. Anyway, dumating nga yung point sabi ko kay Lord, kahit na maging kaibigan ko na lang. Kahit na maging kaibigan ko na lang, happy na ako. Because I knew he was a good man. He was when he was a DPWH, he was the only person in history of the DPWH to return money to the treasury because may mga hindi ginamit. So you can really say he was really righteous man. Anyway, as you know, I'm really we are in the same community. So we are in the same community. And I'm very much involved in giving talks to building how to make families strong. I also talk how to help your career in the youth or the young professionals. And that's what I do. I also help talk about how to become a serious Christians in the workplace and so on. Anyway, there was an opportunity twice. The community invited me to give a presentation. So you're talking about 200 people, 200 to 300. That was the first talk I gave. And I was with my spouse when I delivered the presentation. Nandun siya. Nandun yung prospect ko. Okay, pero hindi kami nag-usap. I knew lang he was there. And again, another time, I was given again the presentation, an opportunity to talk to around 2,000 families. I gave a presentation, 2,000 families. He was also there. I knew he was there. But again, I did not go. I did not approach him. And when Red and I finished our newsletter, I sent this to him to around 5 people who I felt were very high net people. People who knew me also, but not that very close. Siyang nag-respond. Sabi ko lang sa invitation, I will present to you 15 minutes. Allow me to present to you 15 minutes and show you the opportunity, what's happening in the market. So in 15 minutes, of course, it went to 30 minutes, but up to their luck. In 30 minutes, I was able to close him, and he invested around 7 million. What did I learn there? Number one, siguro yung, it is also good to upgrade, to also raise up the bar in terms of your reputation. Well, for most of us here, we do it by the awards we have from our industry. But I think it's not enough, especially if you're trying to target market that who looks at you as a agent lang, yeah, industry. But someone, I think the more important thing that this guy can be trusted. That's number one. That he is honest, he's credible, what he speaks, and so on. Pangalawa is, this client is a UP grad. So ME siya, ME, Mechanical Engineering. And I think when he learned that I was from UP, of course, nag-postgraduate na ako doon. And when he saw that Red, who was also a cum laude, was my partner, medyo it raised the credibility. So yun, nag-invest siya ng 7 million, okay? So did I stop there? No. What did I do? So ang ginawa ko, I became interested in his interest. And nalaman ko, tumutulong pala to sa mga homeless, lalo na in these times of pandemic. So tinatanong ko siya minsan, so how's your community pantry? Sabi ko, okay naman, it's doing well, ganon. Maybe one time, let me join you, sabi ko. So eventually, pinasama niya ako, sumama ako. So sumama ako sa kanya, no? So first week, so laro-laro lang, nagbibigay. Pero what he does is nag-aabot lang siya ng mga food pack. Nag-aabot siya ng dinudumog siya ng mga tao. So when I came in, I said, let us do this, let's organize. So inorganize ko. Inorganize ko yung mag-deliver ng this time, he was only doing probably 20 in a Saturday, and it rose to 200 to 1,000. And because I helped him do that, tinulungan ko siya. I've used my messenger, si Ricky, kilala niyo siya, so pag-organize niyan. My daughter came also with me. Inorganize namin. And thus, medyo naging close kami, naging kaming kaibigan na. So, eventually, sabi ko, gusto kong i-upsell, sabi ko. So when I was trying to send him again, it's a good time to, yung Viber, hindi ko makagat. Parang ayaw, may pinadala ko. So how much is, how much are you recommending? Sabi ko, 10 million. I don't have that much, sabi niya. So talagang so parang sabi ko, kamot ako ng ulo. Paano ko kaya mabentahan? Anyway, pinagdasal ko. In my quiet time, prayer time, Lord, tulungan mo naman ako. Paano kong bentahan ito, sabi ko. So I just had an insight. Sabi lang sa akin, feeling ko sa heart na, sige, set a 10 minutes meeting with him. Ang discussion nyo, yung ginagawa namin, yung yung advocacy niya. So sabi ko, can I have a Zoom meeting with you and discuss the advocacy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, sure. 10 minutes, guys. In the last 2 minutes, by the way, sabi ko, you know that we have an opportunity. You might like to add up. Walang gatul-gatul. Sige, okay, 3 million. I'll put in 3 million. So naglagay ng 3 million again, So tuloy pa rin yung namin, yung service namin. I go with him. By the way, ako kasi yung nag-market noon. Ako kasi nagpalaki ng advocacy niya. Ako yung naging sales, nangongolekta. Kasi ang expenses namin, guys, is 40,000 a week. Hindi ko kaya yon. Hindi niya rin kaya yon. And that's why we have to market. So humihingi ako sa community, so sa chat group namin. So dinidisplay ko yun. So palagi silang Rene, good work. Hindi. It's his initiative. I'm just the salesman here. Pero because of that opportunity to help him, talagang tumaas talaga yung ano ko. Kasi all they know is that ako yun ang naggumawa, parang ganun. But palagi kong sinasabi, si ano yun, siya yun, hindi ako yun. This is I'm just his salesman and his marketing. And up to now, tuloy pa rin. Okay, nandito na naman. Kaya ko kayang bentahan ito ulit, sabi ko. So, paano bang strategy? But during our conversation, nalaman ko, magre-retire siya. Magre-retire siya. So, may pera, guys, may pera. So, pero during our meeting, yung mag-service naman, hindi ko binabanggit yun. Hindi ko binabanggit. Ito, no, the last. Nag-retire. So, nagdadasal na naman, no, paano ko kayang bentahan ito? Parang ganun. But all of a sudden, guys, tumawag sa akin. It was not my initiative. Rene, I'd like to invest in dollars, 5 million. And what is my learning here, colleagues? Number one is that, you know, when you are already, your reputation is already known by the client, that you are there for him. You are there. Your moral compass is intact, and so on. Then they will trust you. You don't even have to keep on selling. In this last 4 months, 6 months pala. So nakabenta ako ng around 7, 10, 15 million. 15 million. In that 15 million, guys, 4 na beses lang ako nag-raise about investment. But I think what was very important because of the relationship. Alam nyo, I'm almost done, ano? I am almost done. Sinasabi ko kay Red, actually kaya ko pang bentahan. Medyo tina-timing ko lang. Kasi right now, yung mga kinikita niya, lahat ng ininvest niya ngayon sa akin, mga kasama, positive na eh. Positive na. In the ups and downs, positive na. Diba? Except for the dollars, kasi diba may 3%, ano yun eh, automatic cost yun eh, investment cost. So, ganun. Pero, ano na lang, 0.7 na lang ang kulang, break even na rin siya. Kasi pwede ko siyang babalikan. But again, what did I learn in all these things? What I wanted to share, highlight, number one, if you like to really focus, focus in investment, then you have to like it. You have to desire it. Number two, you have to study. Hindi pwedeng, I'll just listen and, pwede na to. No, they will really see you through. If you are a fake, if you don't know anything, they will test you. They will test you. And number three, understand equity, understand the bonds, understand dollars, tipong ganon. You know, when I did a 15-minute presentation to him, impressed eh. And I gave him an opportunity, like where we were talking about the dollars. Dollars then was 48. How come it was very strong in the crisis? But the reason is because nobody wanted dollars. That's why napakamura. And I gave him that. Simple lang. You know the reason why it's 48? Because no one wants the dollar. But once the market will grow stronger, yung negosyo and the crisis will end, sabi ko, that will be the first one to go up. True enough. That's why I was able to sell to him dollars because true enough, naging 50 in after so many months. It is because I understood what is happening. I understood the principles behind the funds. Now, sabi nun, tagal naman yan, Rene. Oo, 24 years, parang ganon. Well, that's one. If you really want to really be an expert in this field, take note, not everybody in our agency or even the industry is really this good. Really an expert. Not everybody. It's also sad to know we have a lot of colleagues who got burned because they recommended something and it went down and they could not explain. And they lost credibility and lost their client. That's the danger if you don't really know what you're saying. So again, number one, firstly, I think it is desiring it. Number two, you have to study to be an expert. Number three, you have to position yourself. to be able to show that you're credible, that you will not you're morally upright, and probably also being able to talk, asking the right question, not asking yung answerable by yes or no. No. When you discuss, you should learn, be able to discuss with these people. And that's my sharing. Guys, I hope you were able to get something new. Thank you.
Thank you, Rene. Palakpakan natin si Brother Rene. Ayan. And can you type in the chat box if you have questions? You can type it there. If you have, and whatever you learned, you got from Rene, from Red, and from Rohel as well, please put in the chat box what is your biggest learning and realization.
Sir DJ, I just like to add.
Sige,
I forgot
go.
one thing. If you are a newbie or not really an expert in that, then if you like to sell to people, you ask for people who are experts. You can talk to Rohel, talk to people na, you can also ask me. Then we can do the presentation. But again, the more important thing, it's better to be be humble and say, I'm not that expert now, but one day. But here is the person who can really help you. Parang ganon. So for new ones, don't try. Pero it's also, again, for new ones and those starting and wanting to invest, start now. The biggest I was selling then was what? 5,000, 10,000, 25,000. Ngayon, I'm already in that field of going to, So yun lang.
Thank you, Rene. Thank you, Rene. Maganda yung nabanggit mo rin about JFW. Tama ka, because it's also aligned to what you said earlier that you really have to study. And guys, for the new ones, hindi tayo nagmamadali. Tama yon. And actually bringing in people like Rene, like Rohel, anyone who you feel comfortable bringing with you is actually part of the study, part of the experience. Diba? It's a journey. At the end of the day, and this is part of my advocacy as well, we're not just here to make money and to sell as Starbrights. The end goal will be financial freedom. You and me, I want us to be financially free. That's the goal. And part of that is also learning the investment side. You got to learn it for yourself anyway at the end of the day before you can even also sell it to your clients. So I like what Rene is advocating, that yes, we should have that desire to learn, desire to help other people, and then grow ourselves continuously. Ang ganda ng sinabi mo na hindi siya isang attendant lang, hindi siya isang basahan lang. Diba? This probably for a lot of you who are hearing this for the first time, this will at least open your mind. Diba? Yung kanina pinag-uusapan na 100 million, pinag-uusapan ngayon na $100,000, etc. 15 million from Rene in just a span of 5 months, I think. No, 3 beses nag-invest. It now opens ourselves na hindi tayo sa 10,000 investment or 5,000 a month sa stock market. Hindi ganun eh. That people can really invest this type of money, and maybe we can also create that money for us. Diba? That's our mission here in Starbright, to make each and everyone here, number one, yes, make a lot of money by studying, by helping other people, and then hopefully hindi maubos yun. Kumita tayo beyond what we need so that we can invest for our future, for our retirement, and then eventually distribution. Kasi guys, ang ganda ng pinag-uusapan natin, ang tinutulong natin sa kliyente. But aren't you dreaming of also doing that own financial planning for yourselves? Ako yun yung gusto ko eh. No? That's what I want for me and my family. That's why ganito ako kasipag. Alam ko na yung kinikita ko ngayon probably kulang pa to what I want to create in the future. Diba? So, ang ultimate goal, maging kliyente mo yung sarili mo. Diba? So, pag-practicean muna natin, mag-aral tayo na maigi, pag-practicean natin yung mga clients din natin, let's bring in people who are also expert that we can learn from, and then hopefully 5 years, 10 years from now, we can do this type of financial planning for ourselves as well. Right? Investing money on money tree, using that money tree in terms of you distributing your assets to your family. Ganon. So, there's a lot more to come in the future. I hope you really learned a lot from today. So again, palakpakan natin si Brother Rene. Yan, triple R nga daw, si Red, Rohel, and Rene. Thank you, bro. No? Ang ganda ng story mo, that backstory. And again, we learned that really building relationships. Ang pinaka nagustuhan ko sa sharing mo, bro, is hindi siya madali. You know? Sa ngayon, yung huli, siya na yung lumapit. No? Pero yun ang reality. You know? Lalapit ka, nare-reject ka. Tapos, ang ganda ng conversation with yourself na, paano ko ba ito i-close? Paano ko ba ito i-open? And talagang magpadadasal tayo because He knows best, di ba? That wisdom, He will give it to us. And yun yung nakakatuwa. No? I like that conversation na nilapitan mo, iniiwasan ka, nakakatawa eh. Nakakatawa yung story na yun kasi it will really happen. No? We will all experience that. But you did not give up. Di ba? Number one, you have that community that you're always there. You're being persistent. Di ba na naghanap ka ng opportunity hanggang makapag-present. So naririnig ka niya. Eventually, nade-develop, nabibuild yung capability mo and yung credibility mo. And then also, you asked for help. What you're advocating now, you also did. You asked for help from Red. You partnered with him. You created yung presentation, di ba? So nakita yun ng kliyente, and I think that's really preparation. Di ba? Who we are now, sabi nga nila, the champion sa boxing, yung 12 rounds na yun, it's only the coronation. What really happens is the preparation behind, the months, the weeks of preparation. So I think that's what you did since last year. No, alam ko nga you're recovering from an illness last year. So I thank God, magaling ka na, 'di ba? But you didn't use that na para magpahinga lang. You used that as well to also grow yourself. So nakakatuwa talaga yung mentality mo and yung ugali mo in terms of that. So thank you for that. Thank you for that wonderful sharing. Sweet lang din, pasok sa 30 minutes natin. So any other questions and mga learnings nyo? Sabi nga ni Julius, amazing story, relationship is key. Build relationships daw, sabi ni Gian, ang ganda. Ayan, sinummarize ni Argel yung desire, quest for knowledge, and then building relationships. Which, whether monetary yan or hindi monetary, di ba? All other products, lahat yan kailangan. Di ba? So, continuously grow. Yun yung maganda. So, thank you very much daw. Ayan, sabi ni Jeng, Miss Nina, high net worth client ourselves. Yun yung goal ni Azrael. Goal nating lahat yan. Right? So, siguro last na lang, siguro let's use this final 5 minutes. Let's use 5 minutes of our time to write down. I want you to write down clients in mind. No, so write down clients in mind that you think you can also offer these types of products. And as you do that as well, habang nagsusulat kayo, ipe-prepare na rin ni Argel. Siguro Argel, ikaw na lang magkuha kung nasa laptop ka. Magkukuha rin tayo ng picture natin. Right? So I'll give you 5 minutes. In the last minute, 10:59, we will take our picture so that we can end this session at 11 o'clock. Ayan yung mga proud inaanak, Argel and JR. Andito. Ayan. Ayan. So sige.
Thank you Sir DJ for giving me this opportunity. Alam ko dati talagang pag hindi ka MDRT, you cannot give this kind of sharing. So I was really surprised and really honored that you gave me this opportunity to talk. Kahit na hindi ako MDRT. Maraming salamat.
Hindi naman, grabe naman. Hindi naman to pang MDRT lang. Di ba? You have great results to show and this might be the best chance to be an MDRT as well. Yung kasi sinusukuan. May 4 months pa bro, malay mo. Di ba? So, this year. So, ayun, yun. Sige guys, so use this time, think of people, 1 or 2 or 3 people. Hindi kailangan sobrang haba. No? Sulat natin yung mga pangalan na tingin natin. Mabibentahan natin ng monetary. Remember, 125,000 lang ang minimum ng monetary. Hindi naman to laging million lang din agad. No, you think of people who have that kind of saving to put in there. Ako talaga personally, I offer monetary 500,000 and above lang talaga personally. Kung 100,000 rin lang yan, i-VUL na lang kita. No? Parang gano'n. Kasi I'm a big believer in protection talaga. Unless matagal na kitang client, you just wanna add up. No? So personally, because of the charges, nakita nyo kanina premium charges, for 2% lang kapag 500,000 and above, 1 million and above is 0% yung premium charge, yung initial charge natin. Yun. So, yes. Pero sulat kayo. We still have 3 more minutes. Ayan, and then magpe-prepare tayo. Again, I thank all of you for being here today. 50 plus na naman tayo. This is the engagement that I am talking about. I honor the people, especially those who are still unlicensed. A few of them are here. Si Zaster, si Shara, si Israel, as always, lagi nandiyan dyan. Parang staple na nandito. Now, si Nika, I know, is here. Grace Amante as well. Josephine Corpus is here. So special mention lang sa mga incoming advisors natin. Si Leia May is here. Vicoy is also here. Who else? Punch San Jose. Ayan. So, ayan. Yan yung mga incoming pa lang natin. Marami sila. Diba? So, if these people are, continue nyo lang yung learning mindset nyo. Because here in ACE, we learn a lot. So again, first 3 Mondays natin will be 9 to 10:30 a.m. only. Please do attend. Marami kayong matututunan. No? And then, kasi sharing naman tayo dun mainly. Sharing tayo ng mga best practices. And then, last Monday of the month will be Grand A. So, a bit longer. Bea Sales is also here. I think she just fell off earlier. Right? So, nakita ko na nalaglag. Ayan, nandito na ulit si Bea. Newly coded na rin natin si Bea. So, welcome to our newly coded advisors. Yan. Last Monday will be a bit longer. It can be up to 11 or 11:30. Especially next month, the last Monday of September, I'm already inviting you. I'll be announcing a new engagement program that we'll be having, and it will start on September 27, the last Monday of the month. So thank you, Rene, for being here. Alam ko, busy ka, diba? So, ayan, Rohel, ang ganda nung sharing mo. Diba? Maganda talaga yon. Yung term insurance, hindi lahat yun nakikita na ina-add natin. And again, it's for the protection. That's our main edge in this industry, the protection side aside from the investment. And of course, Red, again, nobody can discuss the product better than you. Sabi nga ni Rene, cum laude in journalism. Walang halos nami-miss na details, di ba? So, siya yung best person talaga to discuss the product. And we are so blessed to have Red in our team as well. Right? So of course, Argel for leading our team and lahat ng mga managers natin for today. Thank you for your time. Again, acknowledge ko rin yung mga new license natin. Marami tayong mga rookies na umaten. So I like the new culture that we are building and continue to foster this culture. So Anthony, Bea Sales, Daniel, Lariosa is here, Diane as always. Who else? Mga bago. Let me just scroll up. Julius Domayas is here. Si Myra is fairly new as well. Tish is also here. Vikay. Ayan, yun yung mga bago natin. So, if you also have a few questions about Money Tree, we just like to acknowledge may mga recent benta rin tayo. And tell me if may ma-miss ako. Si Malu had a 500,000 Money Tree as well just recently. And of course, fresh, 2.5 million. No, na benta si Neil Llorente. Kaka-post lang din natin yan. Ang galing. Diba? So 2.5 million. Maybe we'll also hear from Neil next week sa ACE. Maririnig ulit natin yung sharing niya about that. No? So because, lalo na sa STAR, guys, kailangan nyo makapunta sa STAR group. Kasi sa STAR, we talk about these types of case studies. No? Yung mga cases na recent na na-close natin na malalaki or yung mga wino-workout pa lang tapos humihingi ka ng advice paano mo lalapitan, paano mo i-close. We talk about that sa STAR. And the entry point to STAR is Premier Advisor. You gotta be a Premier Advisor within the year bago matapos yung taon and then you can attend the STAR ACE. Paano maging Premier Advisor? 1 million ANP or 240,000 FYC or the first year commission. So kailangan nyo po yung matapos within the year, i-invite namin, papagraduate din namin kayo from Bright to STAR. And then, kailangan mo mag-MDRT. Parang yun ang goal natin. Pag hindi ka pa MDRT ulit, next year, pagdating ng January, balik ka sa Bright. Tapos kailangan mo ulit mag-premiere para ka makapasok ka sa STAR. So that will be the yearly thing for the STAR. Yung mga staples sa STAR naman, all the MDRTs in the past. At least, you're a one-time MDRT, you will be invited to STAR all the time. Ayan. Okay, sige, so let's take a picture. It's 11:01.
All right, show your faces, your beautiful faces. Yan.
And
Yan.
number one
Nakasmile.
tayo. We are number one because Starbright and AIA Philippines will always be number one. Sige, tingin ta.
Alright, 2
Number one
pages to
time.
ha. 2
Yeah, number one
pages.
time.
First page, hindi nyo alam kung anong nasa ang page kayo. So keep smiling and doing the number 1. First page.